Welcome to Xixi National Wetland Park, one of China's most extraordinary ecological and cultural treasures. As we begin our journey through this 1,150-hectare preserve, let me transport you to a world where nature and human history intertwine in perfect harmony. Our story begins nearly 2 millennia ago during the Eastern Han Dynasty, when this wetland first formed naturally along the Chine River's western reaches. By the Southern Song Dynasty, when Hangzhou served as China's capital, emperors would come here to hunt waterfowl among the reeds. The Ming and Qing dynasties saw Xixi transform into a spiritual retreat for scholars and artists who found inspiration in its untouched beauty. What makes Xixi truly unique is its living ecosystem. Unlike conventional parks, this is a functioning wetland that naturally filters water while supporting extraordinary biodiversity. The park's 6 major watercourses create a labyrinth of streams and ponds that change character with every season. As we enter the wetland proper, notice how the air feels different, cleaner, heavier with moisture, and alive with birdsong. This is because Xixi functions as Hangzhou's natural air purifier, with its plants absorbing urban pollutants while releasing oxygen. The 70% vegetation coverage creates what scientists call an urban cool island effect. The waterways we're gliding through follow centuries-old patterns. Local fishermen still use traditional bamboo weirs to catch fish, just as their ancestors did during the Ming Dynasty. Look closely at the water's edge, and you might spot one of Xixi's most elusive residents, the Chinese soft-shelled turtle surfacing for air. Our first landmark is the historic Xingtang village. These restored Ming-Qing-era buildings showcase the unique water town architecture of the Yangtze Delta. Notice how homes are built on stilts above the water, with stone steps leading down to washing platforms. This practical design reflects the ancient Chinese philosophy of living with nature rather than against it. As we round a bend, the landscape opens to reveal Xixi's famous reed marshes. These vast stands of Phragmites australis are the wetland's signature feature, turning golden in autumn and silver in winter. The reeds serve crucial ecological functions. Their roots filter pollutants, while their stems provide nesting material for birds. For centuries, locals have harvested these reeds to make thatch roofs and woven handicrafts. Now we approach one of Xixi's spiritual centers, Xixi Autumn Snow Temple. Built during the Song Dynasty, this thatched pavilion became famous when Ming Dynasty poets gathered here to compose verses about the autumn reeds. The temple's name comes from the November spectacle when reed catkins float like snowflakes across the water. Inside, you can still see the original ink inscriptions left by visiting scholars. The biodiversity around us is staggering. Xixi shelters 193 bird species, including the endangered black-faced spoonbill and the rare scaly-sided merganser. Spring brings migratory visitors like the fairy pitta from Borneo, while winter welcomes northern species like the hooded crane. The wetland's most celebrated resident is the Bayer's pochard. Fewer than 1,000 of these diving ducks remain worldwide. As we enter the deeper channels, notice how the water changes color from greenish near the villages to crystal clear in the protected core zones. This visual gradient demonstrates the wetland's natural filtration system at work. The cleaner areas contain underwater meadows of Vallisneria that oxygenate the water and provide fish habitat. The upcoming Xintangku area showcases Xixi's cultural legacy. These 3 ancient camphor trees, each over 300 years old, mark the site where Qing Dynasty villagers gathered for festivals. The stone steps leading into the water were used for traditional dragon boat launches. Nearby, the restored opera stage hosted performances during moon festivals. Now we're passing through the agricultural wetlands, where farmers still practice traditional aquaculture. These interconnected ponds raise fish, lotus, and water chestnuts using methods developed during the Southern Song Dynasty. The system works in perfect cycles. Fish waste fertilizes plants, which filter water and provide fish habitat. This ancient wisdom now inspires modern sustainable agriculture. The upcoming Hong Garden Complex reveals Xixi's scholarly heritage. Built by the influential Hong family during the Qing Dynasty, this retreat includes a classical library, scholar studio, and meditation pavilion. The design follows strict feng shui principles, with buildings positioned to capture mountain views while sheltered by bamboo groves. Inside the library, replicas of ancient texts include the Hong family's own Xixi flora and fauna records from 1783. As we enter the western wetlands, the landscape grows wilder. This protected core zone demonstrates what Xixi looked like before human settlement. The water here is so pure that endangered freshwater mussels thrive along the bottom. Look for the rare yellow box turtle sunning itself on logs. This species has disappeared from most Chinese wetlands. The upcoming boardwalk takes us through the floating forest, a magical area where trees grow directly from the water. These swamp cypresses have adapted to permanent flooding by developing special breathing roots. In spring, their new growth creates a luminous green canopy, while autumn turns the foliage fiery red. Now we approach the Dragon Gate area, named for its dramatic rock formations. These weathered sandstone outcrops were transported here during the Ming Dynasty to create miniature mountain landscapes. Scholars believed contemplating such formations elevated the mind. The caves and tunnels we'll pass through were designed for meditation retreats. The final section of our journey passes through the Wetlands Ecological Demonstration Zone. Here you'll see cutting-edge conservation technology working alongside traditional methods. Artificial floating islands planted with native species provide new wildlife habitat, while solar-powered aeration systems maintain water quality. This blend of ancient wisdom and modern science represents the future of wetland conservation. As we return to the landing, take a moment to appreciate Xixi's living cultural heritage. The songs fishermen sing while casting nets preserve ancient tunes. The reed weaving techniques demonstrated at the craft village date back centuries. Even the simple act of drinking lotus tea connects us to generations of visitors who found refreshment in these waters. Xixi's greatest lesson lies in its balance between human needs and nature's rhythms, between preservation and progress. As urbanization transforms China, this wetland stands as a reminder that development need not come at nature's expense. The same waters that inspired 8th century poets now nurture endangered species while cleansing a modern city's environment. Before you leave, consider visiting the nearby China National Tea Museum to complete your journey through Hangzhou's natural and cultural heritage. There you'll discover how the same pure waters we've traveled through today create the perfect conditions for growing dragonwell tea, celebrated for over 1,200 years as China's finest green tea. This concludes our tour, but Xixi's magic lingers. Like the water flowing through its endless channels, the wetland stories continue, waiting for your next visit to reveal new wonders. May your memories of these tranquil waters remain as clear as Xixi's spring-fed ponds.